Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Moses from the Moses Services and from the Business English Chamber. So I'm here to present you a video on how to discover that somebody is faking at English or somebody is copying an accent which they don't really master, and how to realize that one must speak naturally and not copying another accent. So I will give you some steps which can help you discover that you are copying an English accent, you are speaking an English accent, or maybe somebody is speaking an accent or copying it. These steps will help you on your way to fluency and accuracy. So the first thing I will do is, if somebody copies or is faking their accent, the first thing you will discover is inconsistent accent. It means the person speaks differently when they are in a certain context. They speak in such a way. When they are in such context, their voice changes all the time. It means they don't have a precise pace, rhythm. We'll talk about rhythm after. It means the person is not consistent while speaking. It means the person does not have the same level of voice, and this covers the same with voice changing. The person who copies an accent will never speak naturally. It means they change their voice, their accent is inconsistent. For instance, in Swahili he speaks differently, in French he also speaks differently, and in English differently. You see, simply because he's copying or faking an accent. The fact is, when somebody speaks naturally, exactly the same way they speak in their native language, it will be exactly the same they will speak in their native language or their target language. Take Obama. When Obama speaks English, it's exactly the same way Obama would be speaking if he was speaking French. I don't know if you know George Eddy. It is an American who has been naturalized French. He lives in France. He's an American, born American. He speaks American English. But the fact is, he has spent 20 years in France. That's the way he speaks is exactly like English, but French. For instance, he said, bonjour, je m'appelle George Eddy. In English, good morning, my name is George Eddy. You see, exactly the same accents in English and in French. He is not faking anything. And if he tries to copy Macron or Mbappe and try to speak perfectly, he will fake his accent. What he's using is exactly his natural way of speaking. This is what we should be doing while learning a foreign language. The second step is exaggerated pronunciation. This is one of the hints that make us find out that the person is faking the accent. It means the person exaggerates. When they speak, they are trying to sound like native. They are like what we call in French fignolet. They are exaggerating too much that it is noticeable. When you hear them talking, then you say to yourself, he is doing theory. The person is exaggerating. This is a sign of non-nativeness and a faking of accent. Please speak naturally and things will go forward. The third one is lack of natural rhythm and pacing. I talked about rhythm. It means English is a stress time language. It is not a syllable time language like French. When you speak in English, you are not respecting syllables, no? Like ma, et, ale. Like in French, rather, we respect stress. Stress is very common in English and very important. It is one of the supersegmental features that differ English from all other languages in the world. It means stressing word is very crucial. Simply because you are faking your accents, maybe you forget that we don't say English, we say English. Maybe you are faking, you say impossibility, but we say impossibility. You see, things change. When you fake your accent, you actually forget some supersegmental features such as pronunciation, accents, stress, intonation, and even connected speech. When you speak unnaturally because you are faking or copying, all those things you won't have them on mind. The thing is, maybe you have an actor or a person, an American speaker that you want to copy, then it automatically blindens you and you don't see the reality in face. So 1, inconsistent accent. 2, exaggerated pronunciation. 3, lack of natural rhythm and pacing. Now number 4 is use of clichéd phrases. What is a cliché in English? A cliché is an expression which people use almost every day, and it has become normal English. The person thinks he's speaking American accent simply because he said, "My bad," "Go for it," or "Strabonong." You see, those kind of expressions, people think they are American expressions, of course, but they are no more seen as expressions. They are not cliché, means something which has been used repetitively over years and it becomes normal. Like good morning. It's normal in expression, but people who learn American accent who are not aware of all those things actually get to the point where they are faking. So please pay attention to clichéd phrases or expressions. It means some expressions which are used almost every day and sounds normal and natural. They are no more specific to a certain type of English or accent of English. This is number 4, use of clichéd phrases. And number 5, slips in grammar and vocabulary. What do we call a slip in grammar and vocabulary? It means errors, mistakes. When you fake an accent, make sure that you will make as many mistakes as possible. Per day, you won't miss to make any mistakes, simply because you are faking. You are speaking a language, you are not using your natural accent, and actually you end up faking, both in grammar and in vocabulary. Even in pronunciation, rhythm and pacing is not exactly the same. Take the person who's faking and take a natural English speaker when they speak, compare them. You will notice that the person who's speaking is very different. You notice it ongoing. When the person starts speaking, automatically you notice that the person is faking. This is what we call slip in grammar and vocabulary. Because the person is faking, they are committing a lot of mistakes and errors. Stop and be natural. So, number 6, avoidance of some sounds. In English, there are some specific sounds that only native speakers master. For instance, z and many other sounds. We call them natural linked English pronunciation sounds. It means those sounds are sounds that only native speakers master well. Non-native speakers, they have got a problem pronouncing those words. For instance, when you have to say faith, I've got a problem simply. English is not my native language, and in French or Swahili we don't find that sound. It means it makes me be unnatural unless I work on it and it becomes normal to me. So they start avoiding some sounds simply because they are faking. They don't master. The thing is, if you master a language or if you master grammar or pronunciation of a language, you will never fake because you know what to say, how to say, and when to say. Number 7, inability to code switch. What is code switching? Code switching is only native speakers can code switch. It means when they communicate, they don't do any effort to understand. They communicate easily, they do everything easily, commonly, and they understand easily themselves. But if you fake, it will be very difficult for you to understand American accent. I remember I had a friend who pretended himself was saying he was speaking American accent, but finally we went for a job interview. They put a audio in English and they asked him to re-explain what he heard from the audio. What the person was saying, the American accent itself, and what my friend was trying to say was very different. Why? Simply because he was faking and was not exercising on understanding true American English accent. It is a very big problem. Please stop doing it. What to do is stop faking. If I say keep on and things will get well, I will lie. It's a lie. No, please stop. If a person is faking me, I am always direct or straight. I usually tell them to speak normally because when you fake, you are making mistakes, mispronouncing and many things, and the message is not well conveyed. It does not cost anything to speak naturally. If you want to speak American English, you are good at languages, it will come naturally. Don't fake at all. Thank you so much and see you next. This is Moses from the Moses Services.